What's good, everybody? Thank you guys for listening to episode 21 of Tune Check. And I am your host, Chris. I hope you guys all are enjoying the holidays. I hope you guys all are enjoying your breaks. If you have any breaks from school or from work, I hope you guys enjoy Christmas coming up in like a couple days and then New Year's as well. So, in this episode, we're just going to keep it like real simple. Just going to talk about some news that happened, towards the beginning of the month and possibly like around the end of November. There were some albums and EPs that came out that was pretty fire. I checked them out. I really enjoyed them, like some end of the year projects and shit. The first one that I would like to mention is just Kari. He released his EP Late Night Slider Music. Fire. It's been on replay since it came out. I love it. It's amazing. Definitely check it out if you haven't checked it out. It has so much replay value as well, and it's not even that long, so you could honestly just listen to it real quick when you're on the go or you're just doing something. I loved every song on this. I thought it was hands down one of the best things to come out this year. The next project that came out that was fire was Roy Woods. He released his Rolling Stone project, 7 songs. I loved every song on this. I thought it was great. It's only 20 minutes long. It's an R&B project. This has so much replay value. I've been listening to this and Kyrie since they both dropped. And honestly, I've been a Roy Woods fan since like 2015, 16. And he never disappoints, in my opinion. I think he always delivers great music. So definitely check it out. Smino also dropped his album, Maybe in Nirvana. Only has 10 songs. I loved it too. I thought it was great. So check that out as well. And then, we have J. Cole. He dropped 10-year anniversary of Forest Hills Drives. He had his concert a week and a half ago on the 16th. And I was trying to get tickets so bad, but them shits was expensive. Nosebleeds was like $600, $700. I'm not paying that shit. You crazy. I haven't gotten around to listening to all the additional tracks. I think I got like 3 out of the extra 8 tracks that he put on. It's been a good listen so far. The album is probably one of his best albums of all time. I mean, I constantly go back and listen to a few songs from the album, every now and then. Definitely check it out if you're a J. Cole fan. Definitely check it out if you just want something, I guess, new from him. I guess you could consider this as new, even though he's probably had these in the vault for a while. And then the next thing that I wanted to mention was SZA. She dropped the Sos Deluxe, Lana, an additional, like 18 songs. Fucking crazy. Like, now the album has like 38 songs on it. That's really some Chris Brown shit because he's the only one that I know that drops that much music when it comes to album or deluxe. I love this. She has a song with Kendrick Lamar that's blowing up right now too. I think it's because Kendrick has hype. Also because they're known to just make really good music together. Every song on here that's from the deluxe is like fire. So definitely check it out. But shout out to SZA. She really delivered something at the end of the year that's fire, and it's definitely gonna carry over into the next year. And she had said that she has some extra music coming out, possibly like around like the very end of this year. So maybe we'll get something for Christmas or before New Year's. I think that'd be dope if it's true, and I think that'd be good. Like, her fans are always expecting new music from her. I am too. Like, she makes really good music. And I know she's going on tour with Kendrick. So, it'll just be like really good for her to just perform all these new songs. And I think everybody's gonna love it. I'm gonna definitely enjoy it when I go see him. I got my tickets already. But 2024 was a good ass year for music, definitely for hip hop and definitely for R&B. So I'm hoping 2025 is the same thing. The Weeknd is gonna start us off in 2025. He's dropping his album and he's going on tour as well, so it's definitely gonna be lit. I know I said I'd probably keep this just like news, but I'm gonna get into the news now. So the first piece of news we got is from Travis Scott. His Circus Maximus tour became the biggest hip hop grossing tour by a rapper in history. The tour sold 1.7 million tickets and grossed $209.3 million. Fire. I think this is for a solo rap artist, but that's amazing. Like, he's definitely been on the run, like I said, a billion times since like 2022. He's been doing his thing, and I love it. And he's also working on new music, so hopefully we'll get something new soon. And I'm pretty sure he's gonna go on tour again, so he'll probably like break his own record, to be honest. But next we got The Weeknd. He announced the release date of his last album, Hurry Up Tomorrow, which is January 24th. So I think that's pretty dope. The dates is kind of interesting too, because it's 1/24/25. Because 1 plus 24 is 25. I just peeped that. I don't know if that's like something that he thought about. I mean, I guess it's like it is Hurry Up Tomorrow, and then if you add the one, it's the next number. So I don't know. Maybe I'm thinking about it too much, but that's pretty cool though. But yeah, I'm excited for this album. I think it's gonna be good. I hope it's good. And this is the last album that he's gonna do as The Weeknd, supposedly. Maybe it's Cap. I feel like it's probably Cap, but we'll see what happens. Like I said. Next, we got Chris Brown. He became the first male singer with over 40 platinum singles. So shout out to Chris Brown. He's definitely doing his thing. Definitely big. It's crazy how he's still like super relevant to a lot of shit. How he's always making hits and constantly delivering good music. And he just had his shows in South Africa and Brazil, I believe. I've been seeing clips on it from like YouTube and Instagram everywhere. It's fire. I think it's dope. And I think he also might have new music for us because he said that he's going on tour next year. So we could possibly see a new album dropping. And then next we got Kendrick Lamar. He dropped GNX last month. I had my review for it. Go check out my last episode, episode 20. So GNX has reached 300 million streams on Spotify and is now the biggest streaming debut for any rap album with 15 songs or fewer. It's also Kendrick's fifth number one. He also has 7 songs off the album debut at the top 10 on Billboard's Hot 100. So that made him the fourth artist in history to claim the entire top 5 spots of the Billboard Hot 100, joining the Beatles, Drake, and Taylor Swift. So, in that regard, he is top 5, but like in everything else, he hasn't really broken top 5. Not to shit on, not to shit on the accomplishment. I'm just saying, because I've been seeing like a lot of people online saying, oh, he's top 5, he's top 5. But like when you like look at all the charts and like the records and everything and the facts, like he's not really in the top 5, even in the most streamed or whatever. Like he's not really in the top 5. He's like number 9 or 10, and that shit is crazy. But anyway, back to this. Kendrick also became the first hip hop artist in Hot 100 history to debut 3 numbers. Kendrick also became the first hip hop artist in Hot 100 history to debut 3 songs at number one in a calendar year. Those are including the diss tracks and, one of his newer songs. And as I said, he announced his Grand National tour with SZA. It's a stadium tour. This is the one that everybody was talking about, that people was hearing about. So I'm excited. I think it's dope. I seen Kendrick for the Mr. Morale tour like 2 years ago with Baby Keem. I thought that was fire. It's amazing. He's a great performer. But I'm super excited for this one. Like I never seen SZA live, but I think she's gonna do amazing regardless. And like I said, I love Kendrick Lamar. I want to see him. Which, back to the news. GNX has also sold over 500K units and is now eligible for RIAA Gold certification. So that's crazy. I think that's amazing. And all the songs on GNX remained on the Hot 100 for 3 consecutive weeks, which is the first rap album in history to do that. I'm not sure if it's still in the Hot 100 right now, like, all of his songs. I believe it is maybe, but I haven't really seen anything. I didn't get any updates. But that's still great though. That's fire. Like he's definitely taking advantage of this hype that he has right now and from winning the rap beef and everything. So, shout out to Kendrick for doing his thing. And I'm hoping to see what happens in 2025. They said that he has a deluxe on the way for GNX because people keep finding like songs on the internet that aren't on the album or like music from like years ago that hasn't dropped. So we'll see what happens. I feel like he probably will drop a new album or maybe the deluxe around the Super Bowl because it makes more sense. But we'll see what happens. That's like what, 2 months away. And then next, one of the biggest pieces of news from this month, December, is revolving Jay-Z. So I don't know if y'all heard, but he basically was accused in a civil lawsuit for raping a 13-year-old girl in 2000, allegedly alongside Diddy. It was about time that like somebody was probably gonna call Jay-Z out for something or bring him into, the whole Diddy situations and stuff. Like everybody saw it coming, so we were just wondering when it would happen. She's an anonymous accuser who's going by Jane Doe. She stated that the assault happened after she was driven to an MTV Video Music Awards after party. So she originally filed this lawsuit in October and then recently refiled it to include Jay-Z. And the lawyer who's pretty much, handling her case and everything is Tony Busby. As soon as Jay heard it, he responded and he pretty much released like a whole like statement, like a letter saying that, he didn't do none of that. Like that's crazy that like doing this, that the lawyer is trying to blackmail him. Tony Busby's trying to blackmail him. And Tony Busby pretty much assumed that, it would make Jay Z want to settle all of these allegations and everything. And Jay Z was like, nah, I'm doing the exact opposite. Like, I'm going to fight you on this. You're not going to get any money from me. He was also saying, why didn't you file a criminal complaint instead of a civil lawsuit? That would make more sense. because he believes whoever does these kind of crimes or whoever actually did the crime should be locked away. And he pretty much was saying that Tony Busby has like a pattern of doing these kind of, things like accusations and handling these, like kind of situations this way. And then Tony Busby responded pretty much saying that his, firm is gonna stand on business on this. And he's like, yeah, like we're gonna take this to court. I'm gonna address all the issues, and I'm gonna make sure that like you pay for what you've done. And he's like, I don't understand how he's trying to say that I was trying to extort him or blackmail him. That's not true. And he's like, what Jay's trying to do is pretty much focus the public's attention on me personally to avoid attention on the allegations being made by my clients. Then Jay Z filed a motion to pretty much like reveal the accuser's identity, and his attorney urged the judge to pretty much expedite this entire case. And he released a letter asking for it. Then Busby's firm, they still maintain their stance, like we're gonna get to the bottom of this type shit. And then Jay-Z's lawyer pretty much alleged that another anonymous woman came up to, their firm speaking about Tony Busby and how his firm dropped her case, which is unrelated to Jay-Z, because they were trying to pressure her into making false accusations, including being drugged and assaulted. And when she refused to do so, the firm dropped her. So they're just trying to show that Busby takes advantage of his clients and, tries to lie to like, win and stuff. And then recently, the accuser who named Jay-Z in, this case as one of the people that assaulted her had an interview with NBC, and she admitted to making mistakes in her ongoing case. Once everybody saw this, there was a whole lot of backlash from a lot of people, everywhere on the internet. I saw a few like articles and blogs about it as well. A lot of details in the story going against some of the facts in her case. One inconsistency in her claim is that her father picked her up after the alleged assault, and even her dad said he doesn't remember that even happening because the distance between the locations from Rochester and Manhattan, New York is a 5 hour drive, so he wouldn't even have been able to pick her up or wouldn't have gotten there in time to pick her up. So that's crazy that your own dad is like, nah, I don't even remember that, bro. That's crazy. That's a crazy ass drive. Like, then Jay Z's attorney responded saying, it's stunning that a lawyer would not only file such a serious complaint without vetting, but would make things worse by further peddling the false story in the press. We're asking the court to dismiss this frivolous case today, and we will take up the matter of additional discipline for Mr. Busby and all the lawyers that filed the complaint. And then Jay Z released a statement too, calling them out like, hey, this is all lies, this is cap, this is crazy. We're gonna file a complaint against you. But like one of the things in the statement that was funny to me was when he called him a 1-800 lawyer. That shit took me out. I know it's a serious case. I know I shouldn't be laughing, but it's just that small thing that was said that just took me out. Nothing about anybody else. This is crazy. Like this whole thing just unfolded in like the matter of like what 3 weeks, and the way that it's going is just insane. And hopefully we get more developments about it soon, and hopefully this lady isn't lying because like if she is, Jay Z could pretty much sue her for a lot of shit. I like how he stood firm and was like, nah, like if this is true, then we're gonna go to court and we're gonna find out all the facts because I didn't do nothing. I feel like there was some backlash when he responded fast, but then again, if he didn't respond at all and took his time, people would still go against him, like, hey, like, this and that, it was too late. So it wasn't really a win win situation for Jay Z in terms of responding, but I'm happy he said something. I'm happy he released a statement, and I'm happy that, he's like, yo, like, I'm gonna get this expedited. We're gonna handle this shit, because nobody should be going through this, and the person who really did it should go to jail. We all believe that, everybody agrees. So we just gotta wait and see what happens with this whole thing, like I said. But hopefully everything gets resolved pretty soon. But speaking about more legal issues, we got the second piece of news that was going crazy, taking over the internet for a couple of days, a couple weeks. It's about Drake. Pretty sure y'all all heard it. He's suing UMG. He's pretty much suing UMG. Well, not really suing. He made a petition to sue. So, like I said, he made a petition. He's accusing his label UMG and Spotify of artificially inflating Kendrick Lamar's record, not like us. So he's petitioning that they use, like bots to make his song go number one and, make his song go on everybody's playlist to be played more over his songs. And he's like, nah, that's not right because I've been bringing you guys money in for years. And also around this time of the whole rap beef, he was in negotiations for a new deal with Universal Music. He believes that UMG pretty much used this whole rap beef to, pretty much lower his value as an artist. And they don't want to give him the amount of money that he wants, that he's asking for. They want to give him like a worse deal, a worse contract. And he wasn't fucking with that. So the reason why he released 100 gigs is to pretty much, like say like a fuck you to them, all of this and that. But a lot of people are like, oh, he took a L from the rap beef, so now he wants to sue Kendrick. But this has nothing to do with Kendrick Lamar. Kendrick Lamar is not stated in this whole case. His name isn't mentioned. He's not somebody that he's going after. But yeah, I mean, it does look bad in a sense because, he just lost the whole rap beef and like this and that. But to him, and to a lot of other people, it makes sense because everybody's always saying that, oh, music labels are always paying, this and that and this and that to boost up, their numbers and everything. But now when it comes to an artist who's actually calling them out for doing it, if they did it, everybody wants to come at him and go crazy. But then people are saying, oh, but they use the same thing for him. But Drake's been an artist that's been out for like what, 14, 15 years almost, and he's always had numbers. They were always big. All of his albums, all of his features, all of his singles. So I don't really see that being the case for him. But I also don't see that being the case for Kendrick Lamar. But I do also see like why he thinks they did that and why, he's going this route. So like I can see both sides of the story. So I'm just, like I said, I'm just neutral. I'm just waiting to see what happens because I find this whole legal battle very interesting. Because if it turns out that Drake is right, and they were paying for these bots and using payola and like what he's also like charging them with like RICO charges and stuff, that's gonna be a crazy ass look for labels, and they're gonna look more into that. And a lot of artists are gonna come out and probably take the same route that Drake did and sue their labels for not boosting their like music up. And a lot of artists are gonna sue their labels for the same thing. But like I said in my last episode, like once Drake made this petition, UMG responded pretty much saying, nah, that's not true. And it's disrespectful that he's doing this. And then it turns out that UMG was supposedly removing negative comments and negative reaction videos from for Kendrick's new album GNX. There was a couple YouTubers and a couple comments that I've seen online that were taken off, like from like articles, blogs, and even Instagrams, Twitter, and all that for people who were reacting to the album, and UMG was just like deleting all of it, removing it. Then Drake also made another petition against UMG for defamation for Not Like Us, saying how the label shouldn't have allowed Kendrick to use, his home for the cover art, revealing his address. Y'all should have protected me when he was out here calling me a pedophile. Which brings back to what he was saying, that they used this whole rap beef to, lower his value and not give him the deal that he wants. But it's true, I feel like the label shouldn't have agreed to let Kendrick use, the cover art at least, or say something like, hey, we shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be saying that he's this and that. And also for them to promote a song about somebody being a pedophile is crazy. But then again, Drake was saying some crazy shit too on his songs. And, that's where like some of the biasness comes in on his side and on Kendrick's side. Like I said, like multiple times, Kendrick accused him of being a pedophile, but yet, he's made songs with Kodak Black and supported other artists that do like some of the same things. And then one of his people on his team got caught talking to a minor. Then we got Drake, who accused him of, being an abuser against his wife. But yeah, Drake made songs with people who were accused of domestic violence and all of that stuff before. But people chose a side and people chose to go with Kendrick, even though he's associated with like artists who've been in domestic violence issues, people who were accused of being pedophiles. So it's just like, that's crazy. Like, the Drake hate is real, but I feel like it's only online. But in the midst of all this, Drake announced his Anita Max Win Tour. It's going to take place in Australia. He's been hinting at this for like a couple months now. He posted up saying that he hasn't been there in like 10 years. And it went on sale already. I think it's sold out. That's going to be exciting for Australia. And then this past Friday, the hearings for Drake's petition against UMG and Spotify were revealed that it would take place on December 20th. And then the 20th was just a few days ago, but Spotify on that same day, they rejected the accusations. So basically, Spotify just denied everything that happened. It was like, nah, we didn't do this. They questioned Drake's actions and why he decided to do a petition. They pretty much wanted to be dismissed because it doesn't make any sense in their end. They're like, no, we don't have no agreements. They didn't pay us to do any of this. So what are you talking about? We didn't pay for bots. We don't have any bots, this and that. The people on our team at Spotify, we take this seriously and we check on a daily basis to make sure that bots aren't used for anything. And then Drake's, lawyers and everything, they were like, okay, so if you don't have anything to hide, just give us the information we requested. Why is it so hard for you, Spotify, and for UMG to give us this information if there's nothing there? And I feel like he ate with that because that's true. Like, if there isn't really anything to hide, then they should just hand over all of that info, but they just chose not to. Like I said, this is very interesting, and the way that's happening is just like, yeah, I could have just given this information from the day one, and like this all would have been put to bed. And now Drake's, hearing with UMG has been moved to January 13th. So I'm looking out for that to see what happens there, because I want to see what UMG has to say and what they're gonna, provide. They're probably gonna be like, nah, like we're gonna deny it, this and that. Same thing as Spotify, but it will probably turn into something bigger maybe. But like I said, if it happens to be true, then this is gonna really like change like a lot of stuff for a lot of artists. There's gonna definitely be a lot of backlash for the labels as well, and for anybody that's working with streaming and stuff. I mean, since this whole rap beef started, there's been a lot of people that said that there's bots being used on both sides. Like even J. Cole on Port Antonio was like, yeah, all talking about bots and how people was using bots and shit. Like it's crazy. Like, and I don't know. We'll see what happens. Like I'm very neutral. I'm not really siding with anyone. I just want to see how this unfolds and be like, damn, that's crazy. But I mean, even if Drake loses, I don't think it'll be a bad look like that. But I feel like he's doing this also to, get rid of his label, leave the label that he's with. Since they don't want to give him the deal that he wants, they'll probably get rid of him after this as well, maybe. But I think that's what he wants. That's what he wants to do. He wants to just be free from all of that shit, because they're like, yo, fuck all of this. And one of his songs that came up, there were a bunch of songs that came up from him that was talking about this, but one of the songs in particular was 30 for 30 Freestyle. People have been like posting up the lyrics and posting up snippets like, yo, he was really talking about all of this shit like a couple years back. And he's been mentioning stuff like this in his recent songs as well. And it's just like, damn, like, he's probably really spitting facts, and everybody is just so like stuck on the fact that, oh, he's losing. So, but nah, like maybe he's right. Like I said, maybe he's not. We gotta wait and see what happens. But with that, that ends the episode. Thank you guys for listening. I really appreciate it. I hope you guys all had, a great 2024. I hope you guys have a great 2025. Looking forward to all the music that's coming out, all the rap music, R&B music. Share this to, all your friends, families, nieces, nephews, cousins, co-workers, ex-friends, girlfriends, wives, ex-girlfriends, all of that. Follow me on social media, follow me on YouTube, subscribe to me and all of that stuff. But I hope you guys have great holidays, and tune in next time. Peace.